Hi and welcome back to another video of JPlay. I am Marcus and yes, finally it arrived. The spiritual and also mechanical successor to Tokaido named Namiji by Antoine Bauza. If you know let's say the original game Tokaido, maybe also know the so-called collector's edition, I believe that it was referred to then. A lot of these things will definitely look familiar to you with Namiji. I believe I've never done a playthrough of Tokaido on my channel, but as this pretty much recently arrived, we already gave it a good spin. I thought, okay, let's walk you through a 3-player game of Namiji today, and then maybe you will like it, maybe not. As far as I know, there is no official solo mode out there, and honestly, I haven't checked the Geek. If there is one already, I wouldn't be surprised to see one. But again, I have no clue if there is one. If there is, let me know and I might consider giving this a try on my channel too. But for today, again, we are definitely doing a standard 3-player game. So I will set up the game board and then we will dive right into, because it's a very, very streamlined and rather quick little game. Okay. And here we are. This is the setup for the 3-player game. I was a little bit concerned that not everything does fit onto my table here, and I really had to go with my ultra lenses here in order to get everything on screen. And I think we will not be, or I will not be able to immediately show you the scoring chart, because that's under my basically rig here. And again, ultimately I decided to go with a 3-player game because that's, I think, the minimum that you need to play the game. There are 2-player rules, but having some kind of a, let's call it, ghost player, I don't really like that. Yes, the ghost player is not doing decisions on their own, it's being controlled by alternating players, but still not a big fan of that mechanic, which I really think that this is a 3+ player game, and then it plays totally fine. I think really that doesn't really matter too much if you played with 3, 4 or 5 players. I think still, of course, the more the merrier, but the full game really unfolds with 3 players here. And I decided to go with the blue, red and yellow player. There are no special powers whatsoever. Kind of a bummer actually, but it is what it is. And of course, the miniatures that come with this game are absolutely adorable. I mean, look at this ship with this nice, cute little pigs on it. Really so adorable to look at. It was the same with the collector's edition of Tokaido. I mean, the standard game of Tokaido was already very clean. I really like this whitish kind of design here, this clean design. But yeah, this collector's edition kind of components are really, really top notch. There are also some more plastic things here for these offerings, these little paper ships actually, which you have to set into the whirlpool in the middle of the game board. I come to that, but really this game is so nice to look at. And randomly I more or less decided that in this case, like Tokaido, the player who is last is the next player. In this case, the blue player will be first, then we will have red, then we will have yellow. From there, it really depends on the movement on the actual players. And I think with that being said, let's get into the game. And in case you wonder, yes, I am playing with the Aquamarine mini expansion. It's not so mini, it comes with this, I think, custom whirlpool here in the middle. Normally you would put your offerings directly into the middle of the region. Nothing would happen here in this case. There is another little timing aspect which I really do like a lot. Depending on where you place your offering, things could happen to you, good things to you in this case. But also depends a little bit who goes first, who goes next, because there are also some standard spaces here like this one. They're adding some more crustacean tokens. These are fish tokens. There are also some crustacean tokens. Some more cards go into the piles, but overall it really doesn't change the game too much, which I really think it's the intended way to play with the Aquamarine expansion, but I think you will be fine without it. So as I said, the blue player will be first, and in theory you can move your ship as many spaces ahead as you want. The only limitation is the space must not be occupied. Again, in a 3-player game, only the spaces that are directly here on this sea route are accessible. In a 4 or 5-player game, these extra spaces, double spaces or what they are called, would be available. In this case, we can only place it here. The only exception to that is the dock over here, as this is the space where you have to stop, so you cannot move past this dock. When you land on the dock, you have to wait until all the other players make it to the dock, and then we pretty much start the next round coming from here. We all get some of those dock cards, for example. But again, in theory, you can move as many spaces as you want. The farther you go, the more time you have to wait until the other players are catching up with you, because again, whoever is last takes the next action. So if whatever yellow goes crazy, goes here, blue or red goes here, is crazy, in this case the blue player can say, okay, I go here, then I go again, then I go here, I go again, and so on. You get the idea. So at the start of the game, that's not so crucial. Later on, yes, you have to balance things out a little bit to really make sure you're getting to the space where you need to go, and then you have to accept the fact that, yes, you may have to wait a turn or two or three until it is your turn again. But again, at the start of the game, that's really not a big deal. So blue is first, and we can basically go some fishing. We can go for an octopus. There's another fishing space. We can start to place one of our offerings here onto the whirlpool here in the middle. You want to get rid of your offerings, because if you place nothing onto the board, you will lose 15 points at the end of the game. If you place one, you are losing 10, 6, 3 and 0. You get the idea. But I think that may not necessarily need to be your very first thing that you are doing. So I guess in this case, blue is either going to the angler section here, or we are going to the octopus, to the first panorama. And I think starting a panorama relatively early in the game may not be the worst thing in the world. So we are moving, I don't know, 2 spaces here, 1 and 2. We are ending our movement here. As we don't have any panoramas yet, especially not the octopus one, we are basically taking the card that shows the little one here. And we have 3 panoramas in the game. We have a dolphin, we have the octopus, and we have a whale. This consists of 3 tiles, 4 tiles, and 5 tiles. Whoever manages to complete a panorama first gets the bonus tile token here. That's another 3 points. There's only 1 in the game. So first come, first serve in this case, and we are immediately scoring the points for those octopus cards here, depending on the level you're getting. So we are starting with level 1, and we have to go with level 1 here. And that's basically 1 point for the blue player. Hooray, we are on the board. If the blue player goes to the octopus space next, then they will automatically gain the second stage, scoring 2 points and so on. You cannot have 1 panorama twice. Of course, other players can have that, but if you want different panoramas, you have to go with a dolphin, an octopus, and a whale. You cannot have 2 dolphins here, for example. I think you get the idea. We are placing this next to the blue player's game board, and that's already the end of the blue player's turn. Up next is the red player having the same decision. Could go for an angler space, an offering space. And I think right now, should we really start moving too far out, or should we simply go for this angler space? And maybe that's the better deal. Let's not hurry too much, because this also makes sure that, I think red would be next actually. Because, yeah, yellow has to move further, and they would activate again. I think that's pretty great, actually. So yeah, let's go for the angler space. What you can do there is to either take a face-up token from the school here, and again, as I'm playing with the aquamarine expansion, we are placing all these fish now into this bag here. This bag comes with a mini expansion. Normally, all these tokens would be here on the board face down. I like the idea of this bag much more. And again, right now, as we don't know what we are getting, it doesn't really matter too much. There aren't any bonuses out whatsoever, so I think red might as well go for this token here. What you do is you will always take 1 new fish from the bag and place it onto the school of fish. That's a yellow eel. It's yellow, right? Yeah, they're also in the expansion now. Rainbow fish, which can take over any color that you need them to be. Very nice, but in this case, it's a simple yellow eel. And that's basically also already the end of the red player. Next is yellow, because again, they are behind, and again, they also can go for this or that. The offering is okay, don't get me wrong. Getting fish onto your little board, and maybe I should have shown that to you actually, and I think it was assuming stuff here. Apologies for that, but I will fix that now. So we are moving the yellow player now to this space. Again, they could make a call if they want to go for a face-up fish token. In this case, again, it doesn't really matter too much. So we are simply going with it. We will replace it right away. So there will always be at least one face-up fish token. Later on, there could be more. And then we have to place the fish basically starting from the top left of our so-called rack here. Moving forward, you have to place new fish and or net tokens orthogonally adjacent to existing fish. So in this case, I could continue here, I could continue here, but this is diagonal. I cannot place it here, at least not yet. And by the way, you can always draw from the back, and then you are still putting one extra face-up token on the board. And at some point in time, you are doing this. And what you are trying to do here with your rack is to complete rows and columns. And if you complete a column here or a row here, you get 5 points, 7 points or 9 points. That's pretty huge. Or here 3, 4, 5 and 6 points. But they have to be either of the same color. So let's say you have 4 yellow fish in this row. This would score you 5 points. Or they have to be of the same type. So 4 eels in this row, for example. So ideally you get all the same colored fish, for example. This would make things relatively easy. Let's say we will only go for yellow fish here, but not very likely that you will always be able to achieve that. Things are really getting interesting when you are drawing, I don't know, blue fish next, and then you have to basically see how you best place it in order to ideally score all of those rows and columns later on. It is possible, but of course make things a little bit more tricky and yeah, I think interesting. Then it's red again, or pinkish again, or whatever it is. Again, we can go for another panorama here. We could go for a sacred rock now. And getting a sacred rock card early on in the game, of course, gives you some direction. Because if you get it relatively late, you always get to draw 2 and choose one, but still could be problematic. On the other hand, having this another panorama here, which could also help you at some point in time, might be another good thing too. So we could say, I don't know. Oh no, the blue player went with a panorama actually. So I think all the more reason that you go for it. And this is the big panorama consisting of 5 pieces. And yeah, the later you go, the more points you get. So I guess, let's do it. So let's go in here. We really know the should be. Yeah, I think that's fine. No, I think that's fine. So the red player is going for the whale panorama. So that's the topmost card of it. We will score 1 point for red, pink, whatever it is, color it is. And yeah, we will place it next to the player board. And that's again the end of the red player's turn. Next is blue, and blue, yeah, again, we could go for the offering, or we could go now for a sacred rock. If blue now goes in for it directly to the sacred rock, it's very easy for the yellow player. They will definitely go in here and then go somewhere else. And the same thing could the blue player now decide to say, I don't really care about the bonus in the middle right now. Let's better get rid of our offering token as soon as possible. Then we would also be relatively soon next, because if blue will go here, they will basically have 2 turns each, or here we have 2 turns or 3 turns from the other players until they get to go again. So that's also a bummer. No, I think I talked myself into that. We are placing an offering from the blue player's ship. So let's grab the topmost offering here. So by now we were only losing 10 points at the end of the game, though that's already a 5-point swing. And then we are placing the ship on the first space of the whirlpool here. But the next player to place the ship also gets now here a bonus or an offering. That's pretty much 1 draw from the crustacean back, which can give you, I don't know, 1 point. And with the expansion modules also already 2 points, for example. Back to the yellow player who is behind, and they will totally go for one of those sacred rocks. You draw them in a hidden fashion, and I think I will show it to you for one of the players. So we are drawing 1, 2 of those cards, and again you keep these hidden from the other players, and they give you some end of game scoring capabilities. Here's the orange fisherman. If more than half of the fish in your rack are orange, you will score 3 points for that. The good thing is yellow start with an orange fish, so that could be a potential thing. On the other hand, we have the animal kinship here. If you have at least 1 section of each panorama, so at least 1 dolphin, 1 octopus, 1 whale, and doing this early in the game is also not impossible, actually. But again, this yellow fish sounds amazing, but then you really have to have an awful lot of those yellow fish on your board. And right now I think the animal kinship is the better goal for the yellow player. We will place this onto the bottom of the respective deck. And then it's back to the blue player, who is definitely going for one of those Fisherman tokens, which are over here at the right side of the board. We are flipping this face up. They come with 2 fish, and that would have been the perfect draw for the yellow player, of course, but blue is also not really... Oh, it works pretty well actually for the... Oh no, it's the blue player. Unfortunately, it's the blue player. No, but it's okay, as they also need to start sometime. So we are placing it here. We could also place it like this, but in this case, let's try to complete the row, because the row will score more points than the column here. 3 points versus 5 points. And I think that's a great start. Back to the red player. They already do have a panorama, the whale panorama. They could go now for the dolphin space, or could also go for a sacred rock card right now. So that's really now, but there are 2 spaces in between and 2 cool spaces in between. And oof, I really don't know what to do with that. Yellow, we know that yellow wants different kind of panorama. So he's really hoping that red is not going here. And of course you don't really know. That's why you should keep those things hidden. Because there is a mild... I take this away from you kind of mechanic. At some point it's not really so much as a hate draft, but sometimes, yes, you typically try to do what's best for you, not so much what's harmful to the others. But if you can combine those, that's of course the ideal situation. And yeah, I think actually we should go with red to this one. This is so tempting. They would go again. This one would be okay. This seems to be too far for the red player. On the other hand, getting those goals early in the game, what the heck? We will go in here. Again, don't take any strategic advice from me in this game. I simply try to show you some of the core mechanics here. So let's draw the 2 cards from the deck here. And here we have agile fingers and strong fingers. What are the chances? If you have at least 5 shrimp tokens, or if you have at least 3 crab tokens. Getting shrimp is easier than crab tokens, because there is, let's say, kind of push your luck element in this game when going for those shrimps. But I still think we will go for the agile fingers here for the red player instead. And again, this will score them 4 points at the end of the game. We will keep it face up next to their player board so that I hopefully don't forget that. Then we are moving back to the yellow player, who is for sure moving to the dolphin space here. Keep in mind, we have the animal kinship sacred rock card, so we are taking the topmost dolphin card. This will score the yellow player also 1 point. They all have 1 point now. Hooray! We are on the board. And then blue gets to go again. And I think let's not move too crazy out. On the other hand, we could gain another net token. This really gives you a great way scoring a ton of points. But I think let's not move too crazy out, right? It's blue. On the other hand, here for blue is another octopus space. And they want to complete their panorama. But no, let's go for some shrimp fishing to show you the push your luck element. So what will happen now? We will draw tokens from this huge bag actually. So there's a lot of tokens in there. You can in theory draw up to 5 times. After each draw you can stop, because there is a bust mechanic here. That's a stone, a rock, which doesn't score you anything. It's one of your 5 pushes. It comes with the expansion actually, so that's not part of the base game. And that's a crab. That's a problem now, because you can keep going, but as soon as you draw a second crab out of the bag, your turn is over and you will have to put everything back into the ocean. But with 1 measly point, I really don't want to go there. And we want shrimp actually for our agile fingers. And that's the shrimp. I think we will definitely draw 1 more. So let's see, that's another shrimp. And how many do we want? 5 shrimp tokens. Should we go again or should we call? I think that's fine. I really think that this is fine. In total, they will score 3 points for that. And that's basically a very average score, I would think. But it brings us closer to the agile fingers goal here for the red player. And when I'm talking about this was the blue player. Of course, I completely messed this up again, but it doesn't really matter too much. Blue is also happy with those 3 points, but ultimately the in-game points are relatively low right now. So we have blue at 4 points and red and yellow are at 1 point each. And then it is the yellow player, and I think for sure they are either going for this or that, but because again now I really do remember that's the animal kinship and we could gain our second animal right here. I think originally I was really going for this net space here, but getting the extra octopus early, I think let's do that. So we are moving over here. This will give the yellow player their first octopus panorama card. We will place it next to the board. This will score them an immediate point up to 2. And then it's again the blue player, and I think, yeah, there's another dolphin. They do not really care. I think they want another net for sure. You can really score a lot of points with those fish in your rack. So let's see what we get. That's the blue eel, which doesn't help us at all. This is pretty terrible draw for the blue player. In theory, we could simply put it back, but then we wouldn't gain anything out of this. On the other hand, we could say, okay, let's not worry too much about scoring all of our rows and columns. So in theory, we could place it here, but because that's not the same fish and not the same color, that these 2 columns would be lost. But of course, we could now more easily complete those 2 rows, and I think that's 12, that's 21 points if we simply go for the rows, for example. And there are still possibilities that we can do some columns here too, and I don't feel like wasting an action right now, so let's leave it like that. That was really not ideal for the blue player, but yeah, I don't want to spend their action actually. Having these net tokens is pretty huge usually. Over to the red player, and I think they're not going to go for the dolphins. They're going for the angler space here because the perfect fish for them waits at the school here, which is this one. I think let's go for it. Let's place it onto our thing here. I think in this case I want to go for the column because here we really want to go for the nets later on, and I think getting this completed will also score them 3 points at the end of the game. No, I think we are happy with that. We still have to reveal another fish in the school, and that's a green eel, which would be good for either the blue and the yellow player actually. Okay, interesting stuff. It is blue who's next, and they now have an interesting choice if they want to basically choose their space on the dock here first, or if they want to go for the dolphin. That's the same thing again. If blue will go in here for the first dips, then they know that yellow is going for the dolphin, which would give them an awful lot of 2 points and would complete them the panorama. And I think let's not do that. Let's play it somewhat slow. So blue is also getting a dolphin panorama. We will place it next to their board. They will score 1 point for that. So they're already at 5 points, right? Wow, crazy stuff. Then let's stay here. It's yellow. Yellow has to move into the dock now, so there are no other spaces. We cannot move past the dock. So I think we are moving in here. Now the only question is, do we want to move first out of the dock for the next round, or do we want to have first dips on those dock cards? Is there something which the yellow player desperately need? And maybe there is, because the whale here is pretty tempting. On the other hand, the whale is also 4 spaces out. If they get the whale, they would ensure they are scoring the animal kinship card here. But it's also important for the red player, honestly. So they could also try to continue their whale panorama too. Then there is also this. I think we are going in the middle actually. Let's go in the middle. And yeah, take it from there. Then it's blue. Blue has now really the decision if they want going first next round, or if they want to have first dips on those dock cards. Is there something for blue which they really need? Maybe this space here. Let's go in here. So they will have last dips on the cards, but they will move out further because they are further out. That's how this is being basically represented. And then red doesn't have a choice. They need to go in here. Now we are moving into the first dock phase of the game. So we are drawing 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, number of players +1, and then again red gets first dips on those. So let's see what we have. Blessed Sake, a windmill, and the wriggling bait. And overall there are 2 types of cards in this deck. There are basically food or a meal, what is referred to. That's straight up victory points. Or we can go for one of those tools here, which give you an ongoing effect, which I think typically is the better deal. So the Blessed Saga here, for example, in addition to your offering, you can take a panorama section of the type of which you have the fewest, choose in case of a tie. So if you're placing an offering, we can also grab another panorama type, which would be pretty huge. The windmill, you can set afloat an additional offering when we go to an offering space. That's pretty huge, as we are still rather early in the game. Whenever we are catching this fish, we can catch again. And then Takotsubo is when we go to the octopus panorama space, we can also draw a fish token alongside the matching panorama card. So that's now really interesting. And I think I actually want to go for the windmill for the red player. I think this seems pretty powerful, getting rid of those, because we are fully loaded in respect to the offering, so this does make things. Next is yellow. They get second dibs. What does yellow want? Not bad. Getting extra action is always great. This could be all. Let's go with a Blessed Sake for the yellow player, and then we have for blue. Yeah, I mean, they want to catch stuff, right? But this is... Let's go for this because they also have an octopus. They still have 3 sections for that to complete. I think this could help then, and I really hope I'm not forgetting those special powers. The remaining one goes to the bottom of the deck. And then, yeah, we are pretty much moving into the next round. And again, blue, who had last dips, is able to move out first. So do we want to go in here? Do we want to go in there to the... But that really seems far out. Or should we go for more shrimp? But angling could be very nice because there is a nice token. No, I think let's move into the angler space because, again, there is a potential helpful fish for them. Or is it? That's the question. Is it really extremely helpful for them or not? Or... no, okay, I think not, because the next space on the whirlpool here would give them a bonus. No. Allow me to take that back. They're moving 1 space further even, so that's really a pretty long leap, actually. But yeah, placing an offering now definitely does make sense. So we are taking the topmost offering, this little paper ship. That's now, we are only losing 6 points at the end of the game, if that would be the end score. Let's place it on the next space of this thing, and this gives us 1 draw from the back of the crustacean. And that's 1 point. I take it. And then it's the yellow player, and I think they will definitely go to the angler space now, because they will go for this eel. For them it works really well, and I guess we are placing it here or there. Does it matter too much? Does it mean now we need to really come up with 2 more eels here? No, let's do it like this, because here we could still do 2 yellowfish, for example. I think I like this one better here. And of course, let's not forget to reveal a new token. That's another yellowfish. Also works pretty well for both the blue and the yellow player. But no, it's not good for the red player because they don't have this kind of fish. But then it is the red player, and there's no reason not to go to this space here first, because they will go again anyway. So again, we go for the push your luck. And now basically what they're doing here with this, they can now, we need 5 shrimp tokens. That's the one I confused with the blue player. And we have already drawn a lot of shrimp tokens from the back, but okay. Nothing I can take. But that's a shrimp. We will definitely keep going. That's another shrimp. Great. Awesome. That's a great start. That's the first crab. And I think, again, when we draw a second grab, we will bust and we will lose everything. So I think I will keep it slow and will stop here for the red player. They will score 3 points for that. That's not terrible. Bringing them up to 4 points. And I think that's okay. And yeah, then it's red again. And do they want to go for the whale? Yeah, I think they do want to go for the whale, actually, because that would be their second card in that panorama. I think this works pretty well, actually. So let's go then. We're also not moving terribly far ahead, so I think this is double good for them. And so we are going with the next stage of the panorama. So that's the level 2, which will score them 2 immediate points for red and bring them up to 6. And now it may make sense to have a look at the panorama. This will be a rather huge one. This one consists of 5 parts here, but we already have 2 of those. And again, whenever we are completing a panorama, first we will also get the token here, which will be an additional 3 points, which we are scoring immediately. Over to the yellow player who has a tough decision to make. They could now jump to the whale and get their 3rd panorama for the animal kinship card, which is right here. They could go for this one to basically score them 2 points and help them completing their octopus, which is good. The net is also great, obviously. And I believe they're going for the net because they don't really have a lot of fish yet. And the octopus, again, with the animal kinship, I think... yeah, let's go to the net. Let's reveal the topmost card. That's a green fish, which could definitely work for them, as we can place it into this row here. So if we complete this, this will score us 7 points at the end of the game. It will definitely limit us in respect to those columns down here, because again, yeah, we could go for green eels here, for example, but makes things a little bit more challenging. But from my experience, it's tough to really complete all the rows and columns at the same time. But I know my wife is pretty capable of doing these kind of things, actually. Back to the blue player, and blue, I think, yeah, they will definitely go for the octopus here. So that's the level 2 already, which we can place next to her board. She will score 2 points for that. And I think we can also place the token in here to show you how it's going to look at some point in time. So yes, definitely pretty nice. And then it's back to red, and for red the whale is pretty amazing actually, because they're already at level 3 with that. So wow, that's definitely huge, and therefore they will score 3 immediate points for that. 1, 2, 3, moving them to 11 points actually. That's certainly, yeah, pretty nice. And definitely have a look at the panorama so far, which also looks so nice in Tokaido, by the way. And I told you I'm going to forget. The blue player had the Takotsubo card. When they're basically stopping on an octopus panorama space, which they did, you may draw a fish token alongside the matching panorama card. And of course I didn't do that, so let's repair that before we are moving into the turn of the blue player. And I'm really happy that nothing else in between happened in respect to those fish tokens. The question is, we could go for a yellow token here for sure, that would work, but then we would need a yellow eel. A yellow eel is already out, but I think it's still an okay draw, so let's take it. Let's bring out a new one, and that's a blue eel. Oh, that's an interesting one for the yellow player at least, but let's place the fish token in here. And again, that was basically the thing that I missed for the yellow player, for the blue player before. And then it is the blue player's turn, and it's really quite tempting to go for the offering space here again. We are not getting any bonuses for that, but getting rid of those so early in the game is pretty amazing. On the other hand, there is another cool little fish out there, or the dolphin. But before we go to the dolphin, we definitely want to go in here. On the other hand, maybe we want to go for one of those sacred rock cards, but it's really such a long distance, and this feels like a waste for sure. So I guess no, let's play it safe. Let's move blue in here. They are taking the topmost offering. Now it's only 3 points at the end of the game, but unfortunately it's also not a bonus. So the next player to go here could go for the next level of their respective panorama card, which would be pretty helpful basically for everyone. Then it's yellow, and are they going for the angler space? Yeah, this fish would be actually quite helpful, and would also slow the game a little bit down for them. The sacred rock, maybe it's still, I would think, early enough, but they already have 1, and you don't want to have 10 of those. 1, 2, maybe 3 could be an okay thing, but it's really getting difficult to score all of those. But getting this dolphin would also be an immediate 2 points for them. But on the other hand, they also want the whale. instead. There's still a lot of whale spaces out there, so I think there's still plenty of time for them to complete. No, I think let's move in here. They will grab the fish that is currently in the school face up. Yellow will place it here, so this will complete this row. It's basically 3 of a kind fish in this case, and yeah, that's 3 points at the end of the game. Then yeah, we have to bring out another fish. Let's do that. That's another blue eel. Ooh, who thought about this? And red doesn't really care about this thing here too much, the dolphin panorama. Because, yeah, all of the others have one already. The Sacred Rock could be pretty helpful. And I think let's go for another Sacred Rock, for another end of game kind of goal. So we are drawing 2 of those cards. And I think I will continue to show these to you. And here we have the blue fisherman and the green fisherman. Right now, their boat or their wreck looks like this. So the green fisherman, I think, for sure goes below the deck, and they will hold on to this one here. I'm not sure if they will be able to complete this, but at least gives them some directions in respect to the fish they are going to draw. Over to blue, who definitely want to go into the dolphin space, because that's the level 2 dolphin. They already have the level 1, which would score them 2 immediate points. I take it, bringing that to 10 in total. And yellow would be next. Would yellow care about this angler space? I think yellow definitely wants this whale now. Denying the points for the red player. They're really cursing a lot right now, but again, also helping them and completing the animal kinship. I think that is pretty, yeah, I think that's pretty good for the yellow player in this case. They will score a point for that, so let's not forget about this. So they're only at 3 points right now, but again, they will improve. It's not necessarily always important just to go for the in-game points. And then it's back to blue, who could now, oh, that's really tempting now to go for this angler space or here, but this doesn't really help them too much actually. So I think no, let's go to the angler space for now in here. Or is there anything they want to do below, which they want to make sure to get early, so that they are considering to move into the dock that would be right next? And I think I have to turn the game board in a second. Once we have completed this dock phase, I think I will have to turn the game board, so that will be able to show you the stuff that's happening. And I think let's it's still rather wasteful actually going for this. What would they go? I mean, there is a good one out, but not great. This again is a bonus, but also not immediately great for them. They could make sure to go here, which would be the next offering space actually, if they move out early enough, but then they're really losing a hell of a lot of things in between. Yeah, come on, let's go in here. But again, I'm not entirely sure if they want to go for this one here. Yes, it would help them with the row, and maybe again we will simply go for the rows actually. But then, no, I think let's draw it from the back. Let's draw it from the back. I kind of feel lucky, and that's that's could work actually. This in fact could work. Nice, let's grab this and place it here. I mean, right now we were considering this to be a blue row, but this can be an eel row now. Actually, we don't have to be blue, and this is now a yellow column. I think that worked pretty well. We are still revealing a token to the school because we haven't chosen one from the school, so we are simply adding this. It's a green one to the school. So now there are actually 2 face-up fish tokens in here. Of course, that's always the risk here. You don't want to leave too many choices to your fellow players, but I think in this case it really worked pretty well for the blue player. Red would be next, and as red still needs more shrimp for their agile fingers, I think they're definitely going to move here, doing a little bit more of shrimp fishing, or yeah, I don't know, crustacean fishing. And let's see what we get. That's a shrimp. Cool. We have 2 already, if I remember correctly. Yes, so we will definitely keep going. It's another shrimp. I take it. And that's another shrimp. I take it. So we already have made it. Cool. Another shrimp. Wow, that was an amazing draw. And 1 crab. And now we have to stop because we have 5 tokens, but that's also in total 5 points for the red player, moving them to 16 points. And because they now really have a ton of shrimp on their board, they will definitely be able to score the agile finger. That's another 4 points for them at the end of the game. Nicely done. Over to blue, and I think they are moving in here. They have to end the round basically, moving to the docks in this case and going in second. I think that's okay for them. Then it's yellow. Is there anything particular that yellow wants to do? There is a green fish waiting, so I think yellow wants to be first, and again red has to go in here, but they get first dibs on those dock cards. So let's draw 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. These two are pretty cool, but they will maybe stop at a whale space at least twice throughout the game to complete their whale panorama. Here we would basically get another crustacean token alongside the matching panorama card. That's nice. And you can draw the whale section of your choice rather than the next one in increasing order, then score the points. That is nice, but this is helpful if you really get, you should get the 1 token, but you can directly go for the 5 token. That's basically all that it means. Here we have the teaming bait. If you catch this fish, there is 1 fish here in the display. Or we have the talisman. You may look through the deck through your sacred rock card instead of your normal draw. Normally you draw 2 sacred rocks and choose one. Now you can choose it through, but they already have 2 of those, so I'm not sure if I go there again. So I guess we will simply go for the Fukusaza. Let's call it technology card. Then it's blue, and for blue, this fish is interesting, but how often are we going to do that? They don't have any, they have 1 actually, they have 1. Will they go for more whale? That's not unlikely actually, and I think let's go for them. I think that could help the... Oh no, it's the blue player actually, sorry. I'm really getting confused with the order of things here. So for blue, would be also good for blue actually. And they don't really have 1 of those. No, I think let's go for the talisman. And then yes, we will go for this card here for the yellow player. This again goes back to the bottom of the deck. And then again, I will rearrange some stuff and then we will move into the next round. Okay, and here we are. So now we are moving this direction here. Down here is our home port. And sorry if that confuses you, but that's the only way how I can do this actually. To bring it on the table. But we can also now have a look at the score track up here. So we have yellow still at 3. I think I really haven't forgotten. Blue at 10 and red at 16. And these tokens, these are really a little bit disappointed. I really would have hoped for something bigger. There's really a ton of space on this game board here, and this score track is really small. And honestly, I'm really not sure if we should simply do the whole scoring at the end of the game rather than using this rather unpractical scoring track here with these are really mini tokens here. It's smaller than my fingernail, and that really means something. I have small fingers. Okay, then yellow is first, and I think they definitely do need to go to an offering. They didn't have placed out any of those, and I think it would help them actually. So I guess we are going in here. A lot of things are happening now. We are taking the top most ship from their offering deck, or from their offering space, and are placing it here accordingly. This will give them 1 panorama card, I think, of their choice of the next level as far as I remember. Let me check that. You may draw any level 1 panorama card that you don't already own if you... Oh, no, this effect have nothing. It's only for the level 1. I completely missed that. So we are not gaining anything from that, but still I think we should start bringing offering tokens in here, and also is, I think, kind of denying this both for the blue and the red player. No, I think I'm still fine with that. Blue will move in here and they will go for this, fish in here for sure. For this eel, and actually I don't really know if that is an eel or not. We are placing it here, completing this row, 7 points at the end of the game. It still allows us to do stuff in here. If we put in a yellow eel here, for example, we could still go for an eel column here. That would be another 6 points in total. So let's draw another replacement token for the school. That's a green one. I think this doesn't really help us right now, at least not the blue player. I think they definitely want to go in here for, I think that's their 4th whale already. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's do it like this. So that's the next level of card. They will score 4 points for that. It's the red player. They will move to 20 points in total. That's not shabby at all. And then it's blue, and yes, they will definitely go for the octopus. And this time I will not forget the Tako Tsubo card here. First of all, let's go for the octopus. That's level 3 for them actually. So let's place it like this. They will score 3 points for that, bringing them up to 13. And now we are definitely triggering the Tako Tsubo. And it allows us to fish, right? You may draw a fish token alongside the matching Panorama card, which we just did. And I think in this case, I don't like either of those. If this would have been a yellow one, for example. Or well, let's draw a token from the bag. It's a bonus anyway. So what can we lose? Oh, that's a rainbow one. I think that is pretty amazing, actually. We are definitely taking it. And we might as well add another token in here. That's a green eel. And I guess we are placing this in here. So this also completes this row here. This is any color. So we could also go for, I don't know, a blue or green row down here and would still score for both the yellow and the green one. So these are pretty nice. They also come with the expansion, the aquamarine expansion. I think there are 8 tokens or so in the back. That was pretty nice. And of course, I keep forgetting stuff. That was the idea all along why I moved the yellow player in there. They have the blessed sake. In addition to your offering, you can, which we just did, you can take a panorama section of the type of which you have the fewest. Choose in case of a tie. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. And they are next. So I guess they are going, because they are tied, they have one of each of those. So I think they will go for the dolphin, and I will tell you why in a second. Therefore, they will score 2 points, or they're moving up to 5 right now. That's still pretty ridiculous, but I will take it anyway. And then it is their turn. They will move to the dolphin space now, which means they get the last level of the dolphin panorama. They will score 1, 2, 3 points for that. So maybe we can show that now in here. Let's bring that up. Lovely, isn't it? But because they have completed this panorama first, they will grab this token. Therefore, they will score 3 more points for that, bringing them up to 11. Now we are talking. Nicely done, yellow, and these adorable pigs. I mean, yes, they're just cute. As blue doesn't have a card, Sacred Rock card, and they have the Talisman, which allows them to pick a card from the Sacred Rock deck. That's pretty amazing. So I think I will do that in a second. And I guess I will keep maybe this player then hidden for you. Yes, let's do that. Here's the card, and again, I'm not showing this one to you. And then we are moving over to the red player, and I think they really need fish. So they are going to the net space down there. They are grabbing the net token, and that really doesn't help them at all. That's truly terrible for them. Really terrible. It's green, it's not the right shape, and I think, wow, that is really, really bad actually. No, I think they are going to put this onto the bottom of the stack. Wow, wasting an action. That's pretty punching in this game. And then we are moving back to the blue player, and blue could place their last offering token in here. I mean, that's another 3-point swing, and they would take it away from the other players, actually. Is the angler worth anything for them? Yeah, it could be worth for them, actually. Yes, I think it's a good one. No, I think they're moving in here for now. They're grabbing this, yeah, again, let's say it's an eel, which they place in here maybe. Again, this could be the ideal. They need now a yellow eel here. This would be perfect. Then they would really score a ton of points. We still have to reveal a new token for the school, and it's a rainbow eel. Wow. Okay, everyone is going berserk now. Then it's yellow. They will definitely place another of their offerings here. We place it down here. There is no extra effect whatsoever, but again, we will kick in the blessed sake, and they could go for either. Doesn't really matter too much, I believe. I think they're going for an octopus here, the level 2 octopus. which again will still score them 2 more points, also bringing them to 13. Wow, they really have caught up. Nicely done. And then it's red, and I think because of their poor draw, I think they are going to go to this angler space. They will go for this fish, which they can place nicely in here. At least they will score some points for their rack at the end of the game, but it's not looking good. Let's see what new fish comes out for the school. Or should they take this one away actually? No, I think we are taking this one away because it also works as a blue fish basically, and they could go for real. No, I think that's the better deal. We still reveal one more. That's kind of a hate-crafty thing, I know, but let's try to do something with that. That's okay. Oh, that could be a potential thing for the blue player. Then it's yellow. They will go to the octopus, which they will definitely go. That's at least 3 more points for them. I will score those, so they're moving to 16. Wow, it's really great. And then we are already moving in onto the last dock here, and it's blue. Do they really care about this whale? I think they don't. Do they care about this scoring? I don't know. Do they care about this? I think the scoring is still the best thing for them, and they can choose the one. I think it's really perfect for them. No, they will definitely do that, and again I will pick one off camera, and then we are directly moving into the yellow player's turn, who could go for this whale, which I think would work for them because they have the Kokiroko. You can draw the whale section of your choice. I think that's definitely great. So they're moving in here. So instead of the next level 2, they will go for the level 5 instead, which will immediately score them 5 points. And yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. They're moving to 21 points. They are in the lead. How amazing is that? And then it is red again. Do they want to go in here, or do they want to be maybe first for the next one? Because I think red will definitely want to be first for the last dock phase. Then it's yellow. Yellow could still think about moving in here because, on the other hand, there is also this one here. There are not a lot more options left actually, but they have 2 more. So it's not so hurtful for yellow actually right now. So I guess let's go for another shrimp action here. So let's draw. Maybe we see some fancy stuff. First, it's a shrimp. Cool, we can keep going. That's a crab. I think right now it's 2 points. We can go for it. That's another crab. We busted. Okay, we have to bring it all back. We really want to prevent overfishing here. So they basically lost those 2 or 3 points in this case. Then it's blue. They have to move in here. Do they want to be first, second? Do they care? Do they want first dips? I think they go in the middle, and then yeah, yellow has to be first here. And yeah, we will bring out the last set of dock cards, and we have our first meal here. You may draw a fish from the school in addition to catching crustaceans. Then flip, I don't know, the stubborn bait if you catch this one. I think the 4 points here, you may look for. That's also very nice actually, but they are definitely most likely not going to know. I think they're going for the dango. They will simply score 4 points for that. I mean, that's pretty great. They're moving to 25 points in total. Up next is the blue player, and blue, the net could be great, but they're also most likely not getting the net, but they could take the net away from the other players. That's maybe a thing. And here if we go, we can get for another. Maybe that's also not bad. I think let's go for the bamboo trap and then it's red, and I think yes, they will totally go for this net here, and we will bring this one to the bottom of the stack. Then we are moving into the final round basically. Red is first. They will go through the net. They will use their basically special ability, the reinforced net. I will have to choose one, and I think I will simply go for, I don't know, let's go for this one here. And actually I have changed my mind. I will go for this one here because there are 2 green fish out there right now in the school, and this is any color, so we could complete this row here worth 9 points. I think this definitely does make sense. Over to blue. They could go for some more points, but they could also oh, that's now a tricky one. There's a green fish. Oh, there's really a lot of things to do, and this is a good one actually for them. I think we are going to this space. And now how lucky do I feel? I mean, we can definitely complete the first row. We could go and try working on the last row too, but there is only one more angling space out there, but there is also still a grab token out there, which they could also draw a fish. So I think it's not unlikely we are going to achieve something. And I think we don't want to lose those 9 points. So we will, I don't know, go for this one here. Let's reveal a new token right away. And it's another blue one. And this one I think goes in here, right? So this will be a green row, basically worth 9 points. We are not scoring really a lot of those columns other than this one. That's at least 5 points. And I'm not sure if we will or should go for basically, I mean, we could really feel lucky and draw one and hope for a yellow kind of eel or another rainbow one, but I don't think so. I think yellow definitely wants to place another one in here. That's really bad. I think this was really bad for red. I think red should have moved in here actually. Okay, that's something we really have to take care of. So they will place in this. So we are placing a token in here, and this allows them to rearrange a fish. And I think this also includes a net token, but I think in this case we definitely do not want to do that. No, I'm fine. But of course the blessed sake still kicks in. We get the lowest one of the type of which you have the fewest. And I think we only have 2 of the whale, so in this case we have to go with a level 2 whale actually. But that's okay. That will score them 2 more points, bringing them to 27. Nicely done. And then, how far should know? I think red definitely wants to go to the whale space here. This will give them the level 5 whale. Nicely done. So that's 5 points for this. They have completed the whale first. That's another 3 points. So 8 points in total. That's pretty great. No, that's red. 28 points. Now they are in the lead. Nicely done. Yellow needs to do some fishing for sure. They want to have a green fish, right? Yeah, they're going for this one, which is really bad for, I believe, the blue player. I'm not even sure if that is a blue player, but again, this completes this row, and that's worth 7 points at the end of the game. Really nothing to sneeze at. Back to blue, they have to leap into this one here. So first of all, they are going for the crustacean action here. And then they have the bamboo trap, which they can use. You may draw a fish from the school in addition to catching a crustacean, then flip a fish from the school face up. So yeah, let's start with this crustacean thing. So we are drawing, oh, that's a crab. Do we care? Do we really care? No, we don't. It's another crab. Okay, we busted. Hooray, nicely done. But then the bamboo trap still kicks in, and there is no green fish left anymore, and that's terrible. We could now play it safe and simply go for this, which will score us 5 points, which is not nothing. We would hope for a green fish though, or a rainbow kind of fish. I think there is still a good chance we could really miss out on a lot of points, but let's do that. Come on, let's do that. Let's do that for the blue player. I'm playing on my own here, and it is a green fish. Amazing, amazing. And then we still have to bring one out on top of this. That's cool. Awesome draw. So we are able to complete this row. That's 9 points, and really great job. Cool. Red really doesn't have a lot of choices. They need to go into the offering space. Yes, the cool thing about this one is they have the windmill. The windmill allows them, you can set afloat an additional offering token. So they get rid of 2 in a single go. So one goes in here, the other one goes in here. Not only have they just netted, in theory, 9 points, but they will also get a draw from this back here. So let's see what we get, and that's a crab. They will take it. It's worth a point for them, bringing them up to 29 points. Yellow will definitely go for this whale here. Yes, and because of their kokiroko, they can go for the, basically they can choose one, and they will go for the level 4 one here, of course. So that's this. Let's bring it like this. This will score them 4 immediate points, bringing them up to 31. And then it's blue, and in theory blue could go for a lucky draw, or they could simply score 5 more points, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going in here, they're grabbing this fish, placing the fish in here. This will complete this row. That's 5 points. They're losing out on these 6 points down here, but I still take it We still have to bring out an extra fish, and of course this is now a yellow eel, believe me, and it's not. Okay, I'm happy, and I believe blue made a terrible choice now actually. Yes, they should have gone in here. I was really blind. Playing this for 3 players is tough. So yes, yellow will definitely go in here. They will grab the last level of their octopus. Though this will be 4 points plus the 3 points. This would have been the 7 points for the blue player. And they would also have been able to use their ability card here, their dog card, the Taco Subo. Ah, that was so stupid on my side. So that's 7 points for yellow actually, moving into 38 points in total. Yeah, that was pretty crappy actually. Then it's red. Do they care about this? Do they care about this? I don't actually think so. They will simply straight move into the harbor. They will go for the, I think that's the early bird token. That's worth 7 points for them. The next one is 5. Then the last one is 3. And then it's blue. Do they want to go? I mean, they could go in here, but the bonus wouldn't score them. I think they will simply go in here. What would they net? If they would go in here, this would be 3 plus 5, that's 8 points. If they move in here, that's only 5 points. So no, it's clear. They will go for this one here. So that's 1 extra dolphin. They completed the dolphin, but the bonus is already gone, but that's still 3 points for the blue player, moving them up to 16. I'm pretty sure they're not going to win that game. And then it's yellow, and the yellow could definitely go in here. Again, nothing against that. So they will draw some more, tokens from the back. Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting stuff here. So that's, oh, if we're drawing a pair of those, that's also an expansion one, that this will be 5 points. Oh, that's cool. 2, that's a crab. We will keep going now for sure. Okay, that's 1. Okay, that's the second crab. Again, we busted. This second one here would be nice. That would have been 5 points. Amazing stuff. But then they're moving into here. They will get the 5 points for this one. Then blue is moving in. They will get the 3 points. And then we are basically tallying up our score mainly in respect to the fish and I think the sacred rock cards. Let me give you an example once more for one of the players, and then I will do all the scoring off camera. Maybe I will show you 1 or 2 of those end of game scoring cards. So that's 5 points here for things. Then we have 7 points, that's 12 points, 9 points. Wow, 9 plus 12, that's 21 points. Plus this, that's 26 points if my memory served me well. Awesome. Plus the 3 points in here, bringing them to 45 points in total. And we haven't scored those sacred rock cards yet. And the other players are not really particularly great actually. So for example, the yellow player will score 7 plus 3. That's only 10 points plus the 5 points here. So 15 points in total for their rack. So that's 48. 53. They will lose 3 points. 1, 2, 3. The same is true for the blue player. 1, 2, 3. And yeah, that's pretty embarrassing for the red player. So they will score the 7 points here. So that's at least something, moving them to 36. They're not scoring anything in their rag. That was pretty stupid. And they will also lose 6 points from their offerings, driving them back actually to 30 points in total. Right, and I think those were all the standard stuff from the offerings. Then we are scoring our sacred rock cards, and here we have the yellow player. They have at least 1 of each of those, and I think that's the only card they had, scoring them an additional 1 to 3 points, but that's the end score for them. Blue did pretty well as far as I believe, but that's true because of their talisman. They got to choose their cards, so they have basically, if your rack contains at least 4 fish of the same shape. Okay, yes, okay, no, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, no, that's good. Then we have the 4 fish shape here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, okay, I was concerned before. So they will score an additional 8 points, bringing them to 50 in total. So yes, yellow is definitely going to win. And on the basically south side of the board, we have the red player, and I think we have the nimble fingers, for agile fingers. That's basically 4 points. They will get it, bringing them up to 34. And if more than half of the fish, and I think That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure because I believe this is a card from the base game, and this is basically an thing. I would count it, and it also counts as a blue. So I would give the 3 points now to the red player here too. But ultimately, it doesn't change a lot as it's only moving them to 37 points in total versus the 53 for yellow and the 50 points for blue. But yeah, that's pretty much how you play Namiji. I really like the game. I really like the nice little flow of this game. I like the very nice take that kind of thing which can happen at some points in time throughout the game. So again, you're not typically just doing something to deny something to someone, but it's basically if you go places and you can combine it both, whatever, annoying another player and making the best for you, that's then I think something that you do, and which really makes this game highly enjoyable in respect to all the timing of things. When do you need to go there? Also, this whirlpool makes things definitely a little bit more attractive on when to place these offerings. I think if you already own Tokaido, I don't really know if you also need Namiji. I like them both. They're really beautiful and nice to look at, and that's who I am. I'm a very graphical person. I like to look at nice things. But yeah, I really do hope that you did enjoy my little walkthrough of Namiji here. Hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. Before I forget, a huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. You guys are great. If you want to support my channel here, leave a comment, subscribe, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. You will find a link there. You can join my community right here on YouTube. Everything helps. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.